The woodcutter who tried to do a good deed. One cold and windy winter day, a woodcutter was on his way back home from the woods, carrying a big bundle of chopped wood. The long, sharp axe he used to chop the wood was attached to his belt. As he was walking along the path that wound through the woods, he saw a snake on the path ahead of him. He put down the wood he was carrying to look at the snake. It looked like it was dead. The kind woodcutter felt very sorry for the poor creature, as the weather was so cold. So he took off his coat and placed the snake on it. He then wrapped it up tightly. "I shall take him home and try to revive him," he said to himself. The woodcutter then left his bundle of wood behind. "I shall come back for it later," he thought. He began walking to his house, carrying the snake in his arms, tightly wrapped up in his coat. When he reached home, his family was very curious to see what was in his coat. "What have you brought home?" they asked in wonder. But seeing that he was shivering from the cold, they stopped questioning him and quickly lit a fire. Once the fire was burning brightly, and he had gotten nice and warm again, he turned to his daughter and said, "Lay out a cloth in front of the fireplace quickly, little one." His daughter rushed and did that at once. He then unrolled his coat and, to the astonishment of his family, showed them the snake within it. They gasped in amazement. He then took the snake and placed it on the cloth in front of the fireplace. His children and his wife stood a great deal away from the fireplace, as they were quite afraid of the snake. "We shall not come near it, father. We are very afraid," they exclaimed. Slowly, the fire began to warm up the snake, and it soon managed to uncoil itself. The snake then turned its head and looked at the woodcutter and his family, who were standing nearby. Suddenly, it slithered across the room to where the children were huddled. It reared its hood and bared its ugly fangs and was about to strike the little girl. But quicker than the wink, the woodcutter crossed the room. With his handy axe, he struck off the snake's head. He gathered up his little daughter in his arms and vowed never again to try and help such an ungrateful creature, for it was all in vain.